Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Mike with FormerWin here to help you guys get your first engineering job. Today we have Tomas. We have lots of fun things we're going to be going through today. He's a great engineer and we're going to get into it. Let's rock. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you making the time coming here and super excited to learn from you.
Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. It's my pleasure for being here, and I'm just eager to answer your very first question. So
Yes, tell
shoot
us
right away.
background.
Okay, I was born in Poland 47 years ago, and yeah, I'm coming from the classy family, so the education was a pretty important issue within my family. That's why my father, yeah, he has a professor degree. Me and my twin brother, we are both PhD. So this was like the family tradition, so to say. Yeah, I did study in England during my younger years, and I was pretty successful with my master work or Master of Science degree. And I was invited to do my PhD in Germany at University of Darmstadt. And so it came to pass 25 years ago, almost 25 years ago. So I started my career in Germany, and since I'm electrical engineer, so I am doing. I've been doing the power industry since more than 23 years or something. I don't know. Uh, can't recall it correctly. Yeah. So it's been a lot of time by different industries, and I did also some consultancy in my past. I was doing Accenture for 2 years.
Awesome. Yeah. And then, I mean, for everyone watching, I mean, this is a wealth of knowledge here. So as we go through these questions and as we go through just learning more about him, make sure you're taking notes, make sure you
Hmm.
because I'm sure you've been around your fair share of early career engineers or just early career folks in general, right? So super
Yeah.
excited to pick your brain for some of the ups and downs and just different things that worked out for them, what didn't work for them. But you know,
Hmm.
I mean, our next question here is what do you do? So what are you currently involved in?
I am technical director, so I'm leading 9 divisions and covering relative broad spectrum of different activities within my company. And I'm working for the EnBW. This is the major energy corporation in Germany, one of the fourth biggest energy suppliers in Germany. And actually, now I am simply addressing the distribution system operators related issues. I'm working for DSO. Within my career, I also did the other part. I was doing 5 years transmission system operator, and I was doing the energy politics in Brussels.
Awesome. Okay. So let's take this back a little bit too in terms of early career. What were some of your first roles and how did you land some of those opportunities?
Well, as I said, I was quite famous, and I didn't have to look for my job, so I was simply asked by the headhunters to join different companies. So it came to pass, and I simply just pick up the companies which wanted to have me. So
I
I
see.
didn't spend my my time. I didn't spend too much time on looking for the job. The jobs were looking for me. Yeah.
Now did that come from, you just kind of excelling in school or like what made you stand out to
Yeah, the project during my activities at the unis, I did a lot of projects with different companies, and of course, I got networked with a lot of different people, and through them, I just found the job, yeah,
got it?
or the
Got
jobs.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
was
You see,
mentioning.
and that's the big part that, a lot of students are missing. Maybe they don't go out, they don't really try in the projects or they don't go out and network. They don't really just make it a priority, right? So it sounds like you made it a
Hmm.
top priority and you really did well in it, right?
Yeah, this was like a lucky part because I was lucky to meet the right people connected with the right companies, and this was a major luck in my career. My brother, for example, he didn't do so well because he picked up different kind of project, and I know how hard it was for him at the very beginning to start with his career. Yeah. So mine was really accelerating, and he had to take a little bit more time to just warm up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the name of
So
the game.
picking up the right projects, uh, the ones which are being done with external supporters or with external companies. This is probably the tricky part, to
Yeah.
get the job pretty quickly, because you can already meet the future colleagues and you can do the real stuff. It's not like, on the scientific stuff. It
Hmm.
must be real. And I was also confronted during my very first employment with a statement: Thomas, please don't be so scientific. We are doing here real stuff and we are focused on the financial aspects. So please don't be too scientific, yeah,
Yeah.
during your opinions and so on, yeah.
You
And
know,
this was quite a shock, because during the studies you are focused on different aspects, and you are more on the scientific side, and the real life is more brutal,
yep.
focused on the financials aspects, and this is kind of conflict. So you need to always watch out what kind of implementability you would get out of your project.
Yeah. I kind of want to go down into, different degrees and, the higher education. So like master's, PhD, and congratulations on that. Like, again, you've accomplished so much and not a lot of people do that. What do you think the benefits are of, getting a higher education, like master's, PhD, right? Is that needed, or what does that kind of help with?
Well, I believe the the respect you get out there is much bigger if you can prove you have already done something serious.
Mhm.
And at least in Germany, if you do your masters, so you are considered as the one who is pushing forward, and the one who is really wanting to get something in his life. And to get a master's, it's not easy stuff. So this is also a kind of credentials. You have done it, so you are you are quite reliable. So to
Okay,
say. Yeah.
fair enough.
So yeah, this is a different understanding of masters in Germany. Perhaps this is also a different situation in US, but here in Germany we are welcoming the masters very, very much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it ranges.
As we have very few.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. All right, so let's go into our next topic here in terms of struggles. I want to kind of hit this from two sides. I want it to be maybe your early career, one of the biggest struggles you overcame in your early career, and then maybe something you're going through now, or just like a little
Hmm.
more in your senior roles here.
Yeah. At this very topic, I will be very, very honest with you.
Yeah.
As I started my career, I am still very ambitious guy, but now I am experienced guy, and my very first struggle was burnout. And it
Okay.
happened only 2 years after starting my career, because I was doing 18 hours days
Yep.
and so on. I was aiming to impress everybody and to just push my career to the limit. It was not worth it. It was not worth it. And this would be my advice for the young people: be fair to yourself. And this is the major thing. You are not going to impress everybody. There is always something what someone would find bad at your person, or when you are doing mistakes, and you will be doing mistakes, and as long as you are doing anything, so they would criticize you anyway. So if you are overtired, you would make mistakes, and at the end of the day, it won't give you a benefit. It would give you a handicap. So
Yep.
just be fair to yourself. Work as good as you can, but don't forget that there is a life out there.
Yes.
Yeah, the price you might pay for your engagement might be sometimes too high. Yeah, and this
Yeah.
was my very, very much the biggest struggle I've done in my life. It cost me really a lot of years to just get over it, and yeah, and we are talking about nearly 1 decade. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have real problems after the burnout. You cannot underestimate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be my advice: be fair to yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely hear you on that too, because I'm definitely a culprit of that for sure. And I mean, a lot of people go through that, especially early in our career. We want to do a lot, but and then for me, I mean, it's still, I mean, it's always a battle of finding the right balance to make sure that you're efficient with sleep at least, and making sure that you produce a good quality result, right? Just like you're saying, because I mean, I definitely was at the tail end of that too. And then, the quality of the product goes down and your mind goes down, and then you miss out on opportunities in your personal
Mm.
and in the work life too. So yeah, no, I love that. That's definitely a big thing for everyone to kind of consider and, measure out and figure out how to optimize yourself with.
Yeah.
Um,
And the young people, they are quite optimistic on the way, so they think they can deal with a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, but still, at the end of the day, you don't even know it when it comes to pass when you simply have it, and then you have a problem. So yeah, just to avoid it.
do you still kind of go through some of that now, or do you kind of have it?
No, no, definitely not. No, it's it happened to me 23, 24 years ago. It took me, I don't know, nearly a decade. Now I'm just fine. Just it was simply depressing that it takes so long.
To
Yeah,
figure out?
just
Mhm.
to figure it out and to let the stress away. Yeah.
Love it. All right. So next thing. So I mean, we're already going through lots of advice. So everyone watching again, you probably have lots of notes already. You're taking some things, you're having some thoughts churn through your head. But so Tomas, what's
Hmm.
another like one piece of advice for someone in their early career, just looking to grow, expand their journey, but really maybe land their first role. So what's another piece of advice you can give someone?
Yeah, I would simply say you need to look what kind of job you want to have, you want to do, and if you are truly fit for the job.
Hmm.
And you don't have to underestimate yourself, or you don't have to be too optimistic that you can deal with everything the job is offering. You need to be quite realistic by picking the job and applying for the job. And you need to also make sure that your profile is really fitting the job. So that would also increase your qualification chances, definitely. So this would be my piece of advice. And of course, if you have done already projects with one or two external partners, they would be the very first partners to apply for the job too. So this happened to me. For example, I did a project with a great companies, and I started right away.
Awesome. We're,
Mhm.
have you been involved in some like the recruiting for agencies or companies? Have you been involved in some?
Yeah, I've been working with the headhunters quite a lot, but it was also more a decade ago. So
Yeah, no
uh,
worries.
yeah.
I mean, even
The
now,
world is changing. The
yeah,
world is changing, and the world has changed significantly,
yeah.
since then. So,
In terms of maybe focusing on networking versus applications online or, things of that nature, what would you say is the most beneficial for a student to focus on?
hmm. I don't know that if you have the opportunity to get the personal interview, you need to always go for it. This is much better than any online interviewing on some ladders. To present yourself live is always much better. And you don't
Yep.
need to do the theater or circus, as we call it in Germany, doing funny tests and so on. Because if you have already got your masters, you don't have to perform any tests. And some human resources, they are very eager to do some tests. I don't know, this personal assessment stuff or funny theater pieces. Just act like a boss or something. This is not real. This is bullshit, and you can also decline it. And you are even more authentic when you say, "No, I'm not interested to do it." Such performance.
Yep.
I'm not an
Interesting.
actor. I'm applying for the engineer,
I like
for
it.
example. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, with Formula One, one of our major focuses is the people engineering side of things. You know, just to kind of ask you a question with someone joining a team, assuming technical proficiency, let's just rate someone on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's just say someone is technically proficient, maybe like 9. Let's just say someone's
Hmm.
at right. And then, you have someone else who is at a 6, maybe, right? And then you kind of just measure both of them. And the one that's at a 6, they're a lot more impactful to the culture. You can kind of see them being a good fit for the culture and adding value to the team, right? Versus maybe the person that's at that 9. If you can see by bringing them on the team that they're less culturally inclined, or they're less to make teamwork happen necessarily, right? Like you see what I'm saying here. So like
Hmm.
situations, I mean, there's obviously a lot more factors to that, but just off the top of your head, like who would you think to lean towards?
There are a lot of different factors that would support one or the other candidate. It means what kind of team you are leading, and then and this would also give you a criteria what I am looking for. If my team would be a real, I don't know, just top performing engineers with 9 to 10 or something like this, and I would have another guy who is bringing another perspective because he's, I don't know, more social or whatsoever. I would simply pick the guy with 6 because I am already very strong on the way with my people, very very high performing people in terms of technology and engineering. So I would like to enrich this team with a character, bringing in some new qualities. So this is not a question which you would very easily answer, so to
Yeah.
say. You need to analyze your team and what is missing in the team. And diversity in a team is also very important. So just having 10 people doing 10 performance for technical stuff, it would be really boring, and probably the team would perform at the end of the day quite poorly because they need to also do some politics and so on. They need to sell themselves. So
Yep.
you need to have different qualities, just not only just engineering. Engineers, they are
Yep.
not so funny people at all.
I try.
They are fact oriented, and
Yep.
yeah, hardcore guys.
Yeah, really. So next up, I mean, again, this has all been great advice, and I'm loving to pick your brain here. Hopefully, everyone's kind of getting some stuff out of that, and that might be
Hmm.
something that people in interviews or while networking to join a company or get their first job, that might be something that's not necessarily asked right away. That I mean, that's a great question to ask. Like, how's the team culture? How's the team dynamic? What are some missing links you're looking for, right? Because then maybe you can try to fill that a little bit better. That
Hmm.
I mean, that just gives you a better understanding of it too.
Yeah.
Um, the next, what are some of your goals for the future?
Well, now I'm technical director, so it's quite comparable with a CTO in your terms, chief technical officer. So the next step would be CEO, and I'm also developing myself in this direction. And yeah, it makes fun. I'm well. I haven't been doing hardcore engineering for more than 15 years right now, so I have developed myself into a manager, so to say. I started with energy politics, and it gave me another edge, so to say, and I found it very much interesting. And now I simply combine two perspectives, one of the engineering, so I can understand the matters, what my hardcore guys are explaining to me, and of course the management skills I have picked up on the way. They also make me a very flexible force in my company. So
I like it.
the healthy combination of different aspects make you really stronger. If you are just focusing on an expert field, you can be a very good expert, but everybody needs to find his own way, so to say.
Mhm.
There is nothing bad of being a master expert, so to say, but this must be your pick. Yeah, I for one, I just wanted to have more out of life. I did my part doing engineering, hardcore engineering for nearly 2 decades, and at some point of time, I simply started management things, politics, just negotiations. They make also a lot of fun, and this is a character issue. What you after, if you are dealing with people happily, or you are avoiding people and just focus on the stuff you need to solve. Yeah. So this is a character issue, and everybody is different. Everybody is pursuing different goals, and everybody is developing himself during time. So you can do a hardcore engineering, and after 10 years, you just realize, well, I'm done with it. It's time for a new chapter. Yeah. So it's always a personal matter.
Definitely. Yeah. I do have a follow-up question with that. Maybe kind of early mid-career or just as you were taking on some new roles, what are some power moves maybe? Because we also have some engineers watching this. What are some moves you made to grow into the manager role or just grow into the next step, right? Or just the next promotion maybe? What are some key movements or key patterns that you took to get there?
Well, we have a special term in Germany for it, and it is called comfort zone. You need
Okay.
to be ready to leave your comfort zone. The comfort zone is the environment you pretty much know and you feel well within it. But you need to be ready to just simply face the new challenges. You need to be a discoverer, so to say. Yeah, so you need to have this will for discovery of new lands, so to say. You need to be Columbus. Yeah,
Yeah.
eager and willing to find out something new, and then you would probably or most likely be quite successful. Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great way to look at it. I like it. So now we're going to
yeah.
completely switch gears, you know. I mean, this is something that's not really talked about too much. I mean, it is in some areas, but not super important, especially during college or, you know, your early career life. I mean, I think fitness is super important, you know, and then just growing throughout your career too. I mean, sometimes a lot of engineers don't talk about it, but for you, how important is fitness in your life, or like how important is it that you see it for others?
Yeah, yeah. After my burnout issue, I found my way back through sports, and this is very much important. It's it's of huge importance to just find out this work-life balance. It's not only term on the paper. You need to simply live it to implement it into your life. You need to apply it on your daily basis. This is a crucial thing. Not only talk about it, but you need to do it. And work is important, but it's not the most important thing in life. It's your fitness, your happiness, and your family life. These are the aspects which you need to combine with your working career. And working career alone won't make you happy. Never ever.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you need to combine it. You need to combine it, and you are responsible uh, how you combine it. And you can do more hours in one day, but don't forget that you need to compensate it one day and do more private life. So this is always the attitude you need to bring with yourself, and don't get lost with this career pursuit because this is leading to nowhere, only
Yeah.
to burnout. So this is my message for the young guys. Don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it. You need to find your way. You can also be efficient, and you would be efficient if you are doing sports, if you are relaxed, if you are well slept, and you are rejuvenated. Then you can pick up a new tasks. You are performing well, and you do not have stress. You do not have problems. You are just really easygoing, and this
Yeah.
is this is what we all want to have. So avoid stress and be fair to yourself again.
I love it.
Sorry for repeating myself there.
No, well, no, it's good because we need to hammer it in everyone's heads because if they don't get it, then they're not going to get it. So yeah, no, I love it. You know, next thing here, as we wrap up, we have a few more questions, but I'll
Hmm.
kind of leave this one open-ended. Something that's overlooked that, you know, might need more attention, whether this is early career or just something, you know, in the work life, the technical life, the management life. I mean, just anything. Like, what's the first thing that pops in your head when, if I was to ask you, what's something that's overlooked but deserves more attention?
In what terms?
In terms of a student maybe trying to grow in their career or find their role or get their next promotion or get their first job.
Hmm. Yeah, probably they need to also explain why they want to have this job. And this is always a question I am asking the guy. What made you do it that you have applied for the job? What are you going to achieve with this? And then, dependent on the answer, you just know if this is just another job application or the guy is really wanting it. Because you can feel it, you can see it if you are doing live interviews. You are just simply have this information. Yeah, if you are asking this very question. So, before applying for the job, you need to also do it with a. It must be a conscious decision, and you need to stay behind it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you must be convincing. Yeah, and trust me, if you are just applying for the job without being 100% sure that you are wanting this job, you will fail because it's so clear during the interview with different questions. You just show off yourself that you are just simply doing another recruiting process, and this is not something what is really important for you. This is just getting experience, or I don't know, just
Yep.
giving it another trial. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So be sure you want to have it, and be motivated and be convincing. Yeah, and then you'll get it. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
no, a big thing that
quite sure about it.
we kind of talk about at Formal Win is during interviews, a lot of people kind of leave out their personal life. Not that we need to harp on it, but it's important if you want a family, you have a family, and you kind of bring them to an interview and say that, in this job, you're hoping to make sure your family's taken care of, obviously, right? Because that's like a good supporting back structure that makes the company know that, you have something that you're fighting for, right? So, I mean,
Hmm.
some that like I like to talk about too. And then that makes a personal connection too, because obviously most people have families, so then you're going to be able to connect with people, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, that's a big thing that revolves around everything that you're saying about being convincing. A lot of people just go to interview at a surface level value, and then they're wondering why they're getting surface level results, or they're just not making a connection because you're not being convincing. Yeah, I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. Exactly. This is what happens all the time, and you got this impression within, I don't know, 10 minutes of the interviewing,
Mhm.
and you know that the rest one would not be convincing at all.
Yep.
Yeah. So you just know after 10 minutes or 5 minutes if the candidate means it really seriously, or it's just another interview on the list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I think we covered enough technical questions for our students. I know everyone's going to get a lot of value out of this. Now, I'm curious, what's one hobby or something else that you like doing outside of work?
Yeah, I like shooting.
That's
Yeah, I'm shooting guns. Yeah, yeah.
that's awesome. How
I love
how
shooting at targets. Yeah, this is. I don't know. I'm just relaxing by this. Just taking my time and just focusing on the targets. It's
yeah,
just clearing your mind off. Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool and interesting. Well,
Yeah.
listen, this has been great. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone watching, again, make sure you took notes, put it down in the comments. Let us know if you have questions. I'll drop Tomas's LinkedIn in the description so you can feel free to connect with him, reach out. But this has
Hmm.
been great. Thank you so much, and see you guys on next episode.
Okay. Thank you very much, and greetings out of Europe. I hope I could give you some tips that might be helpful for you. Yeah. So,
Bye, guys.
captain of board.